So today in biology we are going to proceed about the excretion, and we're going to look at kidney failure. So the kidney can stop functioning due to these reasons. So this can be due to high or low blood pressure, and the other reason can be due to intake of drugs and alcohol, and the other reason is due to the parasite called bilharzia. So these can cause kidney failure, and there are two solutions that you can solve kidney failure, and this is a kidney machine and a kidney transplant. So when a kidney stops functioning, that means that toxic waste product, they won't be able to be removed by the body, and due to this means that a person can die due to the buildup of toxic substances. But this means that you'll be producing urine, but the urine that you'll be producing, there won't be urea. Urea will just remain in the body. So I've said that there are two solutions that you can use for kidney failure. It's either you have the kidney machine or you have a kidney transplant. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the kidney machine. So the kidney machine is also referred to as the dialysis machine, or the dialysis machine. So the kidney machine is also referred to as the dialysis machine. So we are going to look at the process of the kidney machine, the processes that occurs. So as you can see, this is the arm and we have the machine here. So as blood comes through this blood vessel, which is the artery, it's going to be transported into the kidney machine. Then we have the pump here. So the pump pushes the blood into the kidney machine. Then the kidney machine is made up of selectively permeable tubes. So these tubes, as you can see, they are selectively permeable. Then some of the things that you're supposed to know is that the diuresis fluid here, it does not contain urea. And due to the absence of urea, as blood flows through the tube, urea is going to go out of the tube into the diuresis machine, and from the diuresis machine it's going to go out of the machine. Then the diuresis fluid also contains useful substances that are contained in blood. So this means that those useful substances cannot diffuse from the blood into the diuresis fluid. Then the other question that is asked in most of the past papers, you'll be asked why this tube inside is cold. And the reason why it is cold is because the blood needs to slow down. So as the blood slows down here, that means that most of the urea is going to diffuse out of the blood into the diuresis machine. So the things that you're going to find in here, you're going to find essential salts and water. You're also going to find glucose. So this means these substances cannot diffuse from the tube into the diuresis machine. And after urea has diffused into the diuresis fluid, the blood will pass through this tube. It will go back into the veins, and from the veins it will be taken back to the heart. Let us now look at the kidney transplant. So what is the kidney transplant? So the kidney transplant is where a kidney is removed from the donor and is given to the recipient. So this is the surgical removal of a healthy kidney from the donor to the recipient. And before kidney transplant, the thing that the doctors do, they match the blood groups in the tissues. So this means the blood groups and the tissues have to be the same. But in the case where the blood groups and the tissues are not the same, the recipient immune system is going to attack the kidney of the donor. And when the kidney of the donor is attacked, that means that the kidney is going to be destroyed. But that can be prevented by matching the blood groups in the tissues. Let us now look at the advantages and disadvantages of both the kidney machine and the kidney transplant. So we are going to start with the advantages of the kidney machine. So one of the advantages of the kidney machine is that here there is no risk of death. So there is no risk of death. Then the other advantage of this is that a person does not need surgery. So you don't need surgery. Surgery is not involved. That's the other advantage. Let us now look at some of the disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that a person that is using a kidney machine will spend a lot of hours. They spend about 8 hours in a week. So they spend a lot of hours on the machine, a lot of hours is spent on the machine. Then the other disadvantage is that here the diet has to be controlled. So diet has to be controlled. Then the other disadvantage is that it's expensive. Let us look at the advantages of kidney transplant. So one of the advantages is that here the diet does not need to be controlled. So diet does not need to be controlled. The other advantage is that when there is a successful kidney transplant, that kidney can work as a normal kidney. So that can lead to working as a normal kidney. Let us look at the disadvantages. The disadvantages is that here the drugs that are used to complement the kidney transplant, they are expensive. So drugs, there is a need of drugs. Then the other disadvantage is that a person here can die during surgery. The other disadvantage is that there are lack of donors. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the excretion in the skin and the excretion in the lungs. So the excretion in the lungs involves the removal of carbon dioxide, and if carbon dioxide is left to accumulate in blood, it's going to react with water to form carbonic acid, and that carbonic acid is going to change the pH of cells. So that means carbon dioxide has to be removed. Let us look at excretion in the skin. So excretion in the skin involves the removal of water and small molecules of urea and salts. So when the temperature of blood increases, that means that the blood vessels that supply blood to the sweat glands, they are going to increase in size. And when they increase in size, that means a lot of sweat is going to be produced. And when a lot of sweat is going to produce, that means urea, salt, and water is going to be removed from the body. Let us take into another situation where the temperature of blood is reduced. So when the temperature of blood is low, that means that the amount of blood that will be passing through the blood vessels that supply the sweat glands is not going to be increased in size. And due to this, less amount of salts, urea, and water will be removed through the skin. Then other thing that you're supposed to know about excretion in the skin is that when it's very hot, that means that a lot of sweat is produced.